The nexus between energy and transportation is a critical point of focus in the global effort towards sustainable development. On one end, the transport sector provides an essential service for the mobility of people and goods, and it's also crucial for economic development. On the other side, the sector needs to accelerate its pathways to decarbonization to ensure environmental sustainability. Transportation accounts for nearly a quarter of the world's final energy demand and, as well, nearly a quarter of the global carbon dioxide emissions from fuel combustion. The sector's reliance on fossil fuels, primarily oil and natural gas, which constitute 95% of its energy consumption, significantly impacts our environment and energy security. In 2022, primary energy at global level was still reliant on oil, natural gas, and coal, which supplied 79% of the 630 exajoules of the total energy supply. However, clear signals are coming from the energy transition. Low emission sources expand significantly, and for the first time, all fossil fuel peaks and start to decline before 2030 in all the forecasting scenarios. More in details, electricity demand rises across different scenarios from over 80% to more than 150% between today and 2050. Demand is met increasingly by low emission sources at the expenses of unabated coal and natural gas. Renewable outpace electricity demand growth to 2030 in the IEA more conservative stated policy scenario, leading to a peak in coal-fired power in the near term through announced pledges. This will generate an important shift in the electricity mix, reversing the ranking between fossil and low-carbon sources. The current 60% generated from fossil fuels will be taken by renewable energy, even in the most conservative scenario, and the current 30% coming from renewable sources will be left to fossil fuel. Nuclear will keep its share around 10%, quantitatively increasing the production. A point of attention is requested indeed for electricity. Among the different energy carriers, electricity will be crucial for two main reasons. One, it's easier to decarbonize compared to other carriers. Two, its increasing penetration for end uses in other sectors, electric car in transport or heat pump in the residential sector, can contribute to decarbonize other sectors and lead the significant efficiency gains. Power sector decarbonization advances more rapidly than end-use electrification in each scenario, but both are key pillars for the transition to a clean energy economy. While energy use per capita increases beyond 2030 in some regions, electric penetration will drive also in all regions the energy intensity to decline over time in both the stated policy scenario, the STEP, and the announced policy scenario, the APS. The share of electricity in total final consumption goes from 20% today to between 40 and 50, according to different scenarios by 2050. For industry and building, the share of renewable is expected to double. For the transportation sector, the growth is exponential, from a 1% of today to roughly the 50% in the net zero emissions scenario. These start undermining the strong role the transport sector is due to play in the energy transition. Let's deepen it. In transport, for the road passenger cars, electrification represents a cornerstone of deep decarbonization. For example, battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles offer immediate reduction in emission through direct electrification, thanks to their higher system efficiency. Direct electrification is not enough in the heavy-duty transport, where, for instance, indirect electrification via hydrogen fuel cells and e-fuels presents state-of-the-art solutions. Within the transport arena, railway transport has unique characteristics and peculiarities. Transport by railways is nearly 12 times more energy efficient than car and air travel for passengers, and 8 times more efficient than trucks for freight. This efficiency is due to the large carrying capacity of trains, the high efficiency of electric motors, and the low resistance between steel wheels and trucks. The transport sector is a significant contributor to global greenhouse gas emissions, responsible for 71 gigatons of CO2 emission annually. Road transport alone accounts for 76 of these emissions, with passenger light-duty vehicles contributing 39 and heavy-duty vehicle 22. This high level of emission is largely due to the transport sector's reliance on fossil fuels, which make up 95% of its energy consumption. Again, even for consumption and emissions, railway transportation brings its own peculiarities. It relies on a diverse range of energy sources, reducing its carbon footprint. In 2016, rail constituted the 8% of passenger transport and the 7% of freight movements globally, but only accounted for less than 2% of the energy consumed by the sector. What is the challenge for the railway sector in the energy transition today? Railway sector is not just transportation, but it also provides the station services, which make the railway sector peculiar once again, as it encompasses both rolling stock and building stock. In Italy, approximately 74% of the railway network is already electrified, and the associated lines have the highest mileage. Therefore, a further expansion of the service or a shift of mode to railways for both passengers and freight could benefit from the deep decarbonization that is already happening in the power sector. But we can even do more. If we imagine the railway sector as a capillary network of connections, we can arrive to explore how the building stock can boost energy community to be part of the solution, especially in areas with high radiation and high local demand. To dream a rolling stock as a carrier of energy for low carbon fuel such as e-fuel or hydrogen. In this perspective, the railway sector can pave the way for the ecological transition in transportation, as electricity is basically doing in the energy sector. In this course, we will explore different directions and options, the goal being that of deepening that role with competence, curiosity, and creativity.